Yeah, what's good? And welcome to another episode of the MIGO Experiment. Yo soy Henry Flo.
Yo soy LaBori.
And today we have an actor, musician, producer, composer. But this gentleman right here is going to be on the new Netflix special for Selena. Con nosotros, man, we have Carlos Alfredo Jr.
Hey, thanks for the intro, man.
Yo, so for those folks who don't know you, man, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you were discovered.
Oh, that's a loaded question, man. So I'm from Oakland, California originally, but I grew up in Vacaville, California, which is between Sacramento and San Francisco. Mm-hmm. My background is in music. I started playing music when I was about 10 years old. And upon graduating high school, that's when I started doing animation. And one of my goals was to be an animator for Pixar. So when I graduated, I started interning for Pixar. But through animation, I don't know if you guys know this, but you have to be the best actor you can be. You have to be, because you're giving life into your characters. So that's how I got involved into acting. Acting was just so foreign to me. It was something I never thought about it being a career because I was incredibly shy at the time. So reserved. That's why I was an animator, because I was behind a screen, the whole time. So through acting, it completely opened me up. It completely changed my shift on what I wanted to do with my life. And then I moved to Los Angeles and I did what every actor does. They hustle, they try to make it. So that was 2016. And fast forward, I'm here. I still don't know how I did it, but I'm here.
So this role, you're actually starring in as Joe Ojeda. Am I saying the last name correctly? Joe Ojeda, yeah. Which he was a past member in the group of Selena y los Dinos. So, this role that you're starring as, it's basically the best of both worlds for you.
Yeah, it couldn't have been a better role for me. And honestly, I got to work around Latinos, my people, and I was shooting in Mexico. I mean, there's nothing better than that. I think I got really spoiled with my first project.
Yeah.
I do not know how I'm going to top this one, honestly. Maybe I'll just quit from here, right?
Oh,
no, keep going.
You got to keep going. Oh yeah, don't stop.
I'll do it
Imagine.
for you guys.
Well, we were actually speaking a little earlier as well, how yo soy Latino, pero you're from two different countries, and Bori being Puerto Rican, and yourself, you're actually from two different countries as well. Mm-hmm. Eres ecuatoriano and mexicano. So, what would you consider yourself more, mexicano or ecuatoriano?
Ooh. Well, the thing is, I grew up with two different kinds of Spanish, obviously. It was Ecuadorian Spanish, Mexican Spanish. My dad would say, coge eso. My mom would say, hey, no, don't say that around the kids, It's completely different things.
That's happened to me. That's happened to me. I can relate.
Yeah, because getting cussed out is kind of funny because, somebody hits you with chucha tú, and the other one, pinche, man.
Exactly.
Different worlds, right?
Different worlds. But for me, I grew up in a Mexican restaurant. My dad is more Mexican than Ecuadorian because he married a Mexican woman. Mm-hmm. She wore the pants in the family. So I think that was my childhood. I grew up in a Mexican restaurant. That's all I've known. I listen to Mexican music. I watch Mexican cinema. And Cantinflas, Sábado Gigante, all that good stuff. That was my childhood. I've been to Ecuador several times. Mm-hmm. I still consider myself Ecuadorian. I'm in love with Guayasamín, the painter. I love the Ecuadorian music. I study that as well on the guitar. So, como dicen, ni de aquí ni de allá, ¿verdad? And I'm also born American, so there's three things going on at the same time. I'm just a melting pot of things, I guess.
Now, are you one of those Ecuadorians that have gone to Ecuador to where the equator is at, and they try jumping on one side or the other? Oh my gosh, look at me. I'm on one hemisphere. Now I'm on the other hemisphere. Have you done that?
Yeah, I'm one of those weird people.
Okay.
Yeah. It's actually.
You know what? It's okay. Believe it or not, that's on my bucket list.
Oh my God, do it. It's amazing. It's an amazing monument. And, you're on an altitude. My sister, I remember she fainted because of the altitude. There was, the air was so thick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's crazy.
Now, so one time on Anthony Bourdain, right? He went to Ecuador. He ate guinea pigs. Have you ever had the opportunity to taste that type of cuisine out there?
No, but I've seen it. They're called cuy. In Ecuador, they're called cuy.
Okay.
And you see the rat is just you see it the way it was killed, and it's the stick up its butt,
Oh my God! I just pictured that.
I know it's not appetizing. seen it served. My dad has ate it, but I'm just like, ooh. I'm sure one day I'll go back, and try it. Just watch it be amazing. Watch it be my favorite thing. I think that's what I'm afraid of the most.
Yeah. So, you starring in this new Selena series on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, they can really relate to Selena. She's blown up to be this huge icon, even more than 20 years, since her passing. And have you, before taking this role on, were you ever somewhat influenced or inspired by Selena and in her career? Or tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So what I want people to know is that Selena has had my heart since I was a child. I grew up with two sisters, and like I said, in a Mexican restaurant. My introduction to Selena was through my jukebox. We had the Amor Prohibido album. We had the live album on there. And Bidi Bidi Bam Bam was one of the tracks that always stood out to me as a kid. And it didn't make sense to me. I was like, what does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. It's just something she came up with. And that's how amazing she is. For me, when I started playing guitar when I was about 10. And I got really into heavy metal. So I went that heavy metal route. And like when I graduated high school, I joined this band where we played cumbias, rancheras, we played at quinceañeras, at weddings, all kinds of places like that. And I had to take my heavy metal influences and started playing cumbias and stuff like that. So I felt like Chris Perez in that band. So Selena was a huge part of my life, growing up. And of course the movie, growing up with my sisters, watching the hell out of that movie,
Oh yeah.
I think it's just a very thing. That one and La Bamba, those are the two films that were like, oh, we're in a film. Latinos are in a film. It's a beautiful story. And I think she just still resonates today because she's just someone that was real, someone that was genuine, and she cared about people, and she cared about her fans, and she had a huge heart. And that's the kind of performer that I want to be one day. I want to carry that with me, forever.
So you being in this big, huge, iconic series, how does your family take it, man? Like, what did they say to you? Who came up to you first and dijo algo as soon as you kind of let the news?
Yeah, exactly. The first person I told was my sister Gabby. My sister Gabby's the biggest Selena fan. She even works at MAC Cosmetics, and in 2016, of course, they released the makeup line. So It's funny because we both work for Selena,
That's cool.
Yeah, but everyone was incredibly excited and proud of me. So.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Gabby, yo. It seems like you're the number one fan for your brother, especially hitting that Selena thing,
Yeah, exactly.
As well, too. So I actually read about you, man, a little bit that you were a street performer, bro.
Yeah, I was.
All right. So how did you start, and when did you decide that you wanted to pursue it professionally?
Sure. So 2016 was the year I moved to LA, and before that, I was living in San Francisco. And I was so inspired by the street performers, and of course, in Fisherman's Wharf and places like that. They're all just hanging out, and they're also confident and ballsy to just do that. And for me, I was always a wimp. I would see them, and I was like, oh, I can't do that. That's so hard. That's, people are judging you. And so in 2016, one of the reasons I moved to LA was because I was on this show called, I'm sure you guys heard of it, Tengo Talento, Mucho Talento.
Yeah.
And I was on that show I actually auditioned with a Selena song. It was No Me Queda Más. And I got in the show. And I wanted to be the best performer that I could. So I knew that I had to break that fear of playing on the streets. And that's what I started doing. I just started doing it. I didn't do it for money. I did it to gain my confidence, to gain my voice as a performer. And it was helping me immensely because people would cheer me. Some people would boo me. Some people would, just walk by me. And I had to just play with confidence, play with the heart,
Hey, man.
So you're a singer as well. You can sing as well.
Yeah, I'm a singer.
So if I ask you to sing No Me Queda Más right now.
Sure.
He's going to ask you.
Oh, she already asked me, I think. Let's see. How much of it do you want?
Give us a little sneak peek, a little tease.
Here we go. Yo tenía una esperanza en el fondo de mi alma que algún día te quedaras tú conmigo Y aún guardaba esta ilusión que alimentaba el corazón. Mi corazón que hoy tiene que verte como solo una amiga.
He switched it, man. He switched it too, yo.
That was really good.
High five to you. High five to you. Boom.
That was really
That's getting right
good.
to Henry right there. Right to his ear.
Wow. No. Oh my God. Yeah. You could sing. You give my approval. You're singing.
With my guitar, I can sing better.
What's up, man? So when you were a street performer, like, what did you just play all the instruments all on the block with you, or did you picked one particular one, like the guitar, or the drum set, or?
Yeah. So what I would do is I would take my looper pedal. I had this huge looper pedal and my guitar, and what I would do, I would create loops. So I would start off with the bass, you know. Everything was done with my guitar. I would record the bass line, then I would record the drums, you know, little rhythm. Then I would record the chords, and then I would just like completely riff and solo on top of that. So I would play some Carlos Santana medleys. I would play some Selena stuff. Bidi Bidi Bam Bam was a big hit on the streets. And I would always be wearing my Selena shirts. Like if you guys go through my Instagram, you guys will see I'm always wearing my Selena shirt. So she's always been a part of me. She's always been like there with me, like guiding me and protecting me, you know?
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Man, do you so working on set, because we don't know, we're the world, we're just looking at you guys on TV and everything like that.
Yep.
Is Abraham there? Is Abraham Sr. there as well? Is like, who's on set with you guys to kind of keep the story going as, you know, accurate as possible, if I can say that?
Yeah, sure. So we had the family's blessings from the beginning. Suzette was supposed to come on set, but of course COVID hit, and she wasn't allowed to come and see us anymore. But she was always there, guiding us. For me personally, I had the luxury of working with Joe Ojeda, the real guy that I'm portraying, and that was through my own accord. Like I reached out to the guy when I got the part, and I basically told him like, hey, I'm gonna do the best job possible. Like I'm studying piano. Like I'm not a piano player, but I had to study piano. I had to learn how to play. And he gave me his blessing, and he was there throughout the entire process. I would send him pictures, and he'd be like, "Oh no, what are you wearing? I would never wear that." Or you know, and he would say like, "Oh, in 1994, I started wearing earrings." So I would go to the director. I'm like, "Hey, can I wear earrings for this year, for the 1994 year?" And she'd be like, "Oh yeah, I didn't know that. Wow, that's great." So I did my own research, and it was great that I was able to bring Joe's truth to my character. So that was a huge help for me as an actor and as a musician as well.
That's pretty dope though, like to like be able to reach out to a person you're gonna play, and that person be like receptive to like, hey, you're gonna play me? All right, cool.
Yeah.
I never wore that, all right? So it's just like,
yeah. I didn't think he was gonna respond, but he did. So props to him for helping me and guiding me.
That's super dope, man.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So you said that, so hold on, let me get this correct. Usually on like series and like shows, the musicians aren't really musicians, the DJs aren't really DJs. But in your case, like, so are you guys really playing on the series?
For the most part, yeah. Like we all had to learn our instruments. I took like 3 months of piano lessons. Noemi Gonzalez, who plays Suzette, she freaking learned the drums, and she didn't know anything. And she would, I mean, she's the heartbeat of the band. Yeah. So props to her too for like just learning the drums. It was incredible.
That is
fighting with her.
That's super dope, man. Like I didn't know that. I thought, you know, you could acting, right? Like you can act like you're playing.
I mean, you can, yeah. You can mime it, but for me as a musician, I felt like kind of dirty, like not knowing how to play my instrument. So I actually wanted to learn. Like I can show you guys really quick.
Dele.
Okay, so the first, I have it all prepared.
Come on, Bidi Bidi Bam Bam off the top of the.
So like, Bidi Bidi Bam Bam?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's that go? Oh, yeah. And that's all I did. But for like, the first song I ever learned was.
Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead, buddy. Yo sé que tienes
un gran amor.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Amor prohibido. My man hit everything como la flor, bidi bidi ba. Dude, you're talented. Hey, man. Everybody go follow this man right now. How can they follow you, man?
Yeah, so you can follow me on Carlos Alfredo Jr. at pretty much everything, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff.
As well, other than acting, man, Carlos, are you actually gonna like sing and do an EP or put out a single or something? What's going on?
Yeah, actually, I wrote a song, a Selena song, while I was in quarantine over there in Mexico, shooting the show. And I showed it to Netflix, and Netflix really loved my song. I showed it to Joe, and he loved my song, and he wants to collaborate with me. So the future is like, I want to collaborate with Joe. I want him to do all the piano stuff while I'm doing all the guitar stuff and the singing. Like, you guys will hear it very soon. I don't want to say much, but
¿Qué va a hacer? ¿Va a ser una balada, una cumbia? ¿Qué?
Yeah, so I wrote a song that feels like Selena y los Dinos from, the early days. I wanted it to have that feel. Yeah. Just like a nostalgic kind of sound.
Gotcha. That's dope, man.
I know. I'm like so excited now. So Selena series coming out December 4th, correct?
Friday, yeah. Almost.
To go ahead and let everybody know, December 4th, Selena series will be out on Netflix. Mm-hmm. And Carlos Alfredo Jr., thank you so much for joining us today here at the MIGO Experiment.
You guys are awesome. It's an honor meeting you guys.
Yeah,
likewise.
Man. Likewise as well. Everybody following right now, go ahead and comment below, subscribe. If you have any questions for Carlos Alfredo Jr., go ahead and follow him, shoot him a DM. The guy's actually pretty down to earth. He's probably going to have time to answer you, especially with this quarantine time.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and do that, everybody, man. Thank you for following us on the MIGO Experiment. As well, to follow MIGO Productions. Follow me as well, Henry Flo, FLO_DCF.
You can follow me on Instagram at LaBori DMV, LABORIII DMV.
So stay tuned for the next episode. All right, let's go. Boom, 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 boom.